This is Carolina AM.
No reason to cry any longer. Jamie, Chef Jamie's in the studio. Where have you been? We've missed you.
I'm sorry, I had a birthday celebration I had to deal with.
I know, you got things going on. There's life
things,
and restaurants to run and all those kind of things.
I know.
Now, hey, listen, we're only a week away from Thanksgiving. We're just weeks away from 36 days now until Christmas. So we've got to get you busy doing just nothing but holiday stuff. But you're telling me, off camera, Jamie was telling me she went to Kroger hungry, which I got to tell you, when I go to Costco, Buy Low, Lowe's, Kroger, yeah, any of those, Sam's, I go hungry. I love going hungry because I get stuff that I'm not supposed to be getting.
I try not to go to the grocery store hungry. So I went to the grocery store last night to get the ingredients for this. And I was like, I'm going to make a batch so I have it ready. Okay. And then I'm like, oh, I think I can whip together like a quick mock Thanksgiving dinner. So I went and I found 2 turkey breasts that they had them there. They were cryovac and they were already pre-marinated. It was like a peppery marinade. I would have preferred if it wasn't marinated, but I couldn't be picky. So I cooked them on the grill. I whipped up some green beans, some stuffing, some gravy, and the cranberry jam, and I sauteed some sweet potatoes. I diced them up, and then I put them in a pan with some oil, with whatever seasoning. I used my sweet and spicy that I used a couple weeks ago.
Yes,
And I just sauteed them until they're cooked through, because I diced them small so they don't take too long. And I had a Thanksgiving dinner, a mini Thanksgiving dinner last night. It took me like an hour and a half to prepare.
You got it out of the way. So now the question is, what does a chef make for Thanksgiving?
Well, normally my mom makes some stuff, I make some stuff, and then we kind of bring it together. But we usually have 2 types of potatoes, the sweet potatoes and the mashed, like 1 or 2 veggies, obviously a deep fried turkey. I always make cranberry jam. My mom brings the canned cranberries, and so it's not super fancy, but we do indulge. So.
Well, listen, when it comes to indulging, cranberry is always a love-hate relationship with most people.
Yeah.
And usually they're not brought out of the cupboard or bought until Thanksgiving and Christmas. There's something about cranberries that are synonymous with the holidays.
Unless you put them in a muffin, like I don't use them really throughout the year unless I'm making something with turkey and then I want like a cranberry, this exact cranberry jam to like spread it or something like that. Because it's really good on a sandwich, so like leftovers and stuff like that. So like I was going to tell the viewers, like, we prepared this little easy crostini to do for like an appetizer with some brie cheese. But if you make this, you could serve it for Thanksgiving. You can eat it for leftovers.
I just like to say easy crostini. Okay, so this is not your grandmother's cranberry mold, and my mom made many of those, but this is a whole different twist on cranberry.
Yep. So, I mean, all the ingredients are right here. And the only thing that's missing here is shallots. So put a little oil in the pan, saute a little bit of shallots with some salt and pepper. Then we put the cranberries in there, and I always use the sweetened dried cranberries, a little red wine vinegar, and then you can choose between unsweetened or like the sweetened cranberry. So the recipe, it doesn't say unsweetened, it's meant for sweetened. But I sometimes, like, if I either accidentally or they don't have it or whatever, yesterday I picked up the unsweetened, and I just add a little brown sugar to it to make it, because it's tart otherwise.
Right.
So,
if you've eaten a cranberry, you know exactly what she's talking about.
So I think, like, if you someone that likes it to be sweet, but you can buy the unsweetened juice and then add a little sugar just to make it, if you're watching your sugar, so you can control the sugar. So that's what I did, because I bought this one yesterday because it was the first one I saw. I brought it home and I had brown sugar. So.
Well, how long are you going to let that saute, Jamie?
So this takes.
When you're talking about jam, you're thinking, I'm thinking something that's got more.
It takes a little while to. It's pretty much done here. It takes a little while to reduce. So when you put everything, after you add the cranberry juice, you're going to see it's super soupy. So you just bring it to a simmer and just let it simmer until it's thickened up. I mean, you can see the consistency here. You see how it's like, when I go like this.
Show the camera there, Jamie.
When you put the line on it, it doesn't really like, if it's too juicy, it will just form back together.
Let Tyler get a good shot of that so everybody can see exactly what you're talking about.
So you see how it's super thick and jelly, and then obviously
almost like a preserve kind of dish.
Exactly. And then you're going to let it cool down for a little while before you serve it. But to make the crostinis, you just slice like a really good French bread at a bias, so you have like the longer skinny pieces, and I put a little garlic butter, which I gave the viewers the recipe. It's just a little chopped garlic and like an all-purpose seasoning, or like an adobo, or I have all-purpose seasoning too that I have available, and or just salt and pepper if you want. And then mix it up, soften it, spread it on your breads. your little toasts and pop them in the oven until they're nice and crispy.
It's perfect.
And
if you want to be socially distanced from anybody, your family members, extra garlic is something that I bring. That'll
good.
keep them away a little bit. But this looks incredible.
But yeah,
I love. And the great thing about that brie, especially when you get to that temperature, really easy to spread.
Yep. And I bought I always buy like one that's, because they have the brie and then they have ones that are like a little bit more easier to spread. And they usually say like easy to spread or spreadable brie. And that's what I like, because I don't want to be messing with the rind and all that stuff. So.
And this is okay to serve at room temperature.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't have to come right out of the oven to be consumed.
Exactly. And if you want, you can set them up like before your guests come. You can let them do it and just maybe have it set up there. But
beautiful.
And you can do all this ahead of time. Like you can toast the breads in the morning. You don't have to do it right when your guests come, because as long as you let them cool down completely and then cover them, they won't get soggy. They should stay pretty toasted.
Okay. Well, it really is an easy crostini.
And you can see it stays right on there. And I mean, it tastes delicious. And
it's only going to stay on there for just a moment. I can tell you
and it's good because, if you're going to make Thanksgiving dinner anyway, but you want to serve this as an appetizer, double the recipe and put it on the table for Thanksgiving.
Woo! That is incredible.
It's good.
And see, so there's some of the tartness in there, but the sugar balances that.
Yeah. Because when I always tried it too, and I made it and I tried it and I was like, oh, that's a little bit too tart, because I used the unsweetened cranberry. So I just added a little sugar and tasted it. I was like, okay, I want a little more, added a little bit. And I used the brown, but you can use a regular granulated white sugar too.
That's great. And the brie is so smooth.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite appetizers, and it's so easy to make.
Okay.
And I mean, it's great because it doesn't go bad. You can use it for Thanksgiving dinner too on top of it, or make yourself a sandwich for leftovers.
Perfect. This will be up on our website with the recipe. Fantastic. Jamie, you will be back next week.
Oh, I will be.
I will chain you here. We'll be right back with more of Carolina AM. This is incredible.
Thank you.